Hello everybody and welcome back to the Brawl for All Pro Wrestling Show. It is episode 54. I'm your host Jeff Jaros as always. It's not going to be too long as always whenever it's just me by myself. But hope next week to get Jeff Crow and C-Dub from Chronochord Media, which I do plug every show. And go down to the description below and check their channel out. Make sure you go over and give them a sub. They do wrestling related stuff, movies, all kinds of stuff over there, video games. So I'm sure if you check the show out, you will dig their stuff as well. So go down and check out C-Dub at Chronochord Media at the link below. Also, give us a subscribe and a like and leave a comment if you would like to, if this is your first time hearing us. If not, we thank you for subbing and listening as always. The things I'm going to be going over today, first here, we have Survivor Series, which was pretty underwhelming to say the least. Also, another thing is it was very predictable, as last week, you can go back and check it out for yourself on 53. I pretty much called the main event and every other match that took place that we knew about as far as the win goes. So, starting out, Survivor Series, running through, as I said, it's not going to be too long, but I'm just going to give kind of my opinion and run through it here, like I have in the past when I do these shows on my own. Stardust, The Ascension, Miz, and Bo Dallas took on the Dudleys, Titus O'Neil, Adrian Neville, which they just call him Neville, and Goldust in the pre-show match. And the results of this, the entire Stardust team was swept by the Dudleys, Titus O'Neil, Neville, and Goldust. The return of Goldust, though, the big note here. And as I reported before, that Goldust may return to the ring real soon. Well, that has become true as he has returned to action for the WWE. I'm glad to see Goldust back in action and keeping the feud going here with Stardust. And I hope something culminates between these two to end that there. Also, going on to the next match, which was on the main card, they started out with the semifinals, which I call it here, Reigns over Del Rio via spear. Not much to talk about there, but was a decent match. Probably the best match on the card that I saw up till later on here. Owens and Ambrose, the other semifinal match, they got him right out of the way. Ambrose ended up winning via Dirty Deeds over Kevin Owens. So he advanced, and it was Reigns and Ambrose for the title later on, as I called it. They had their 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination match. Ryback, the Usos, and the Lucha Dragons defeated New Day, Bad News Barrett, King Bear, whatever you want to call him, and Sheamus, the Money in the Bank holder. Jey Uso, Sin Cara, and Ryback survived in that match. That was the results there. Pretty good little 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series match. So they had 2 on the night, counting the pre-show. Then we had Charlotte and Paige for the Divas title. Paige ended up tapping to the figure 8. No surprise there after the whole brother fiasco that they had on Raw last week going into this pay-per-view. I figured that they'd let Charlotte have the win. I figured that was the story all along, too, is that she would probably defeat Paige anyway. So no surprise there. Dolph Ziggler, Tyler Breeze. Breeze actually won via the Unprettier. He had a little bit of help from Summer Rae, but I didn't actually catch it. I need to go back and watch that again, see if it was, but I did call a distraction on that match as well. So Ziggler was defeated by Tyler Breeze. Big win for Tyler Breeze on his first pay-per-view match in the WWE via Survivor Series. Then we had The Undertaker and Kane taking on Rowan, Harper, Wyatt, and Strowman. They actually ended up taking on all 4 of them. It wasn't just 2 of them. In this matchup, Taker pinned Harper via Tombstone. Kane and Taker actually dominated, and it was pretty cool to see Taker and Kane, the Brothers of Destruction, lay a path of destruction once again at Survivor Series, so I couldn't complain on that match. I thought it was very entertaining, but like I said, I think the Reigns and Del Rio match was the best match leading up to the main event here, which was Reigns and Ambrose. And this match was pretty decent, but the match that I liked the best, the whole card, was him and Del Rio. Like I said, Del Rio on fire right now. Reigns actually pinned Ambrose via spear to become the WWE Champion. Triple H came out to congratulate him. Reigns hit Triple H with the spear, not shaking his hand. Sheamus then came out of nowhere and Brogue kicked him, and I called it that Sheamus would come down there and cash this in. Sheamus cashed in. He kicked Reigns with the Brogue kick, as I said, and then after Reigns kicked out once, which they probably should have just had him stay down, as, in my opinion, on the first kick, but because I mean it was out of nowhere. But he did kick out, went for a spear, missed it, and got hit with another Brogue kick. So the pay-per-view ended with Sheamus as the new champion, walking out with Triple H, like he is definitely on Triple H's side with the authority Really cool ending to the pay-per-view, I thought, but did not lead to any big ratings on Raw, because the ratings on Raw were the lowest in history as they came under the 3 million mark. Man, I can't believe how low the Raw ratings are getting. Hopefully they can pick things back up, as C-Dub said. I wish he was on here so I could talk about that and see what he thought. But the Raw they had the next night was very, very bland, in my opinion, I would say. The show opened up with Triple H and Stephanie coming out and dissing Reigns for not shaking Triple H's hand and spearing him. His pride kept him from being the WWE champion. And then he introduced Sheamus. Sheamus said that nothing can bring him down, and the Roman Empire rose and fell in 5 minutes. Reigns came out, asked for the rematch. Steph said his demands ended after he speared Triple H. Reigns asked Triple H if he was scared standing behind Steph, and Triple H and Reigns came face to face. Triple H says he'll get his rematch when he says so. Rusev comes out of nowhere returning with a super kick on Reigns, and then Sheamus came in and hit a bro kick. Triple H said that he'll get his rematch at TLC in a TLC match, and he will face Rusev later in the night. So that's how they kicked off Raw, and I can see a lot of people not being too interested in what's going down, especially with Sheamus as the champion, and Reigns is just not over like they really want him to be. So pushing that storyline as the main focal point might not be a good idea. Then they had Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper take on the Dudley Boys. Harper actually got the pin on Bubba after a clothesline for the win. And after the match, all the Wyatts attacked the Dudley Boys. This could be a really good feud, but I was hoping that the Dudley Boys could get that New Day match and finally get the titles against them. I'm hoping they're not ending that feud. So we'll see what happens. Sasha Banks defeated Becky Lynch via a roll-up. Paige appeared on the Titantron, saying Charlotte cheated, and showed footage of Charlotte's arm under the ropes as Paige tapped out, so she claimed it wasn't a clean tap out. So we'll see what happens there. Obviously, those two would come face-to-face in a rematch later on the night. The New Day celebrated 1-year anniversary in the ring next. Woods issued an open challenge for the tag titles. The Lucha Dragons accepted, and the New Day tried leaving, but the Usos stopped them at the entrance, so the Lucha suggested that they have a triple threat match. New Day canceled the challenge, and they ended up getting beat down by the Usos and the Lucha Dragons. So are they going to push the Usos and the Lucha Dragons here into the tag team title scene and drop the Dudley Boys? I really hope not. I really hope everything here culminates into a big, maybe TLC match at the pay-per-view, at TLC itself coming up here. It would be great. I don't know if they want to do more than one match. They usually do. I don't think the way they set it up last year was real good, having like a stairs match and stuff, so they should try to switch things up. But the New Day celebrating 1 year as a team. Then they had Neville and Mark Henry, and Neville actually hit the red arrow on Mark Henry for the win. And for some odd reason, they switched to Miz watching backstage. I don't know why they had them do that, but I guess we'll see in the coming weeks if that has anything to do with what's going on or it was a mistake. After the match, though, Henry, in respect, shakes Neville's hands and tell him that he respects him. So that was a good move, having Henry do that, making Neville star a little bit brighter as Henry, who's a guy that's been around for a long time, showing respect to the young guns. So I hope it's only going to help Neville here, launch him forward and out of this mid-card range where he's been. The Primetime Players and Goldust took on Stardust in the Ascension, so they kept the Goldust Stardust thing going on here, and I like that. O'Neal actually hit Connor with the Clash of Titus for the win. So the Primetime Players were back. Strangely enough, Darren Young was not at Survivor Series in that match. Like I said, instead they used Neville, the Dudley Boys. Who was the other one that they used? Goldust. So Primetime Players back together, so nothing wrong with Darren Young there. Next they had Zeb Coulter and Del Rio come out, and they talked up Mex America and talked about people not appreciating it, and its borders are now closed. Swagger came out, told Zeb how disappointed he was in him, and then hits the ring, and Del Rio bailed out, so it looks like a little feud between Swagger and Del Rio is going to keep going on. Swagger claiming We the People is not dead, I seen on a report. So Swagger and Del Rio will be a pretty good feud in my opinion, if they can get that going. And it could push Swagger into being a babyface for him, and they need him at this time because God knows with the injuries they need to step up. A lot of people do. Paige versus Charlotte, the rematch. It ended in a no contest after a double countout, so I only look for this feud to continue. Going on from that, Ziggler and Ambrose took on Owens and Breeze in a tag match. Ambrose actually hit a Dirty Deeds on Breeze for the pin, so that was the pre-main event match there. And then we go into the main event, which was Roman Reigns and Rusev. King Barrett actually appeared out of nowhere and bullhammered Reigns to cause a DQ for the win. Afterwards, Barrett grabbed the chair, Reigns got a hold of it, and he actually beat down Barrett and Rusev with it, and then Sheamus hit the ring, and he got taken out as well, and the show ended with Reigns standing tall. So, the lowest ratings in Raw history, not good, and in my opinion, that show was so subpar coming out of Survivor Series that they're going to have to do better than that to boost up the ratings. And I can't wait to get Jeff and C-Dub on here and talk about that whole ratings flop that they had and see what they think, see if they think it's just because WWE is doing bad business or what. But in my opinion, they really need to step things up, and they've got to do something here with the ratings down below under 3 million. You know, when you're in the twos, that's getting pretty ridiculous when you're the top wrestling show in town, whether anyone likes to admit it or not, that the top show, they're the main event in wrestling companies, and drawing just in the twos, 2 million people, like, man, I mean, it's getting pretty rough there. So, going into the news here, some real bad news for WWE. Cesaro actually out 4 to 6 months, undergoing surgery. It was a rotator cuff injury that he's had lingering for a while. So, bad news on Cesaro being out 4 to 6 months on that surgery on the rotator cuff. But also some other stuff is Orton undergoing neck surgery now after the reported shoulder surgery that I reported a few weeks back. He's now going to be out longer than expected. His return date has now been pushed back to the end of 2016, possibly 2017. Yeah, a whole year. They'll have to wait for his shoulder to heal before they can go in and do his neck. So that's one of the problem. And the neck will keep him out an extra 3 to 6 months. So unless they can really rehab it and get him back earlier, yeah, we could not be seeing him till the end of 2016, 2017. So not good news for WWE losing Cesaro for 4 to 6. Orton's out. They also have Cena filming that reality show. They have Rollins out now. Daniel Bryan's out. I mean, and then Cesaro and Orton. I mean, they cannot afford any injuries right now. And I see them to really tone down the in-ring action because they cannot afford any injuries. And then they're going into this TLC pay-per-view, which is high risk, with a lot of gimmick matches. So I don't know, they're gonna have to tone things down, and with the ratings the way it is, I don't know if this is good news at all for WWE. And like I said, I love to get other guys on here and talk about it, but maybe if you have a comment on it, you can leave it in the description below, or in the comment section below. So go ahead and do that. Also, WWE released Brad Maddox. I didn't get the actual update on why he was released. He has been only used as an off-air wrestler at live events since he was removed as the Raw GM off air. So it was not a real surprise that they released Brad Maddox. That is noteworthy, though, definitely this week to announce that they have released him. Other WWE news here: Edge and Christian are getting a new network show. Totally reeks of the show that totally reeks of awesomeness. It's going to be on the WWE Network. Looking forward to check that out. Actually, a little note here. Sheamus said that Brock Lesnar would be a dream match for him in an interview, so could we see Sheamus Brock Lesnar? I don't know if it'd be a great money drawing match, but Brock versus Sheamus would be interesting. They actually have a surveillance video released now of the man who was shot in front of the WWE Performance Center, and his rampage also was filmed and released by WWE, I guess, or the cops or whatever. So I haven't really looked too much into that, but I did see that the surveillance video was released. They had that Undertaker 25 roundtable discussion on the network, which I heard was really good, by Jeff Crow, a co-host here on the Brawl for All. I really want to watch it. I seen it on YouTube actually, and I might try to see if I can find that tonight. But I don't see any other WWE news other than the ISIS threat that was taken seriously at Survivor Series, which I did not talk about before Survivor Series there, but yeah, they did have a threat from ISIS that was taken seriously. Other news here: TNA's first Pop TV tapings will take place January 5th through 9th, that's Tuesday through Saturday, at Sands Bethlehem Event Center in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Angle, Hardy Boys, Lashley, EC3, Drew Galloway, Bobby Roode, and Gail Kim all advertised for the event. So, could be interesting. TNA moving over to Pop TV. I don't think many people know where it is, but it looks like the TNA fans will have to follow them to another network, and I don't see how long they can keep this up. Rey Mysterio and Johnny Mundo, aka John Morrison in the WWE, they were announced to decide a match to decide the new AAA Mega Heavyweight Champion. So I figured that's newsworthy. C-Dub from Chronochord could probably give me some more news on that, as he kind of follows that AAA and stuff more than I do in Mexico and in Japan. So yeah, shout out to him, and next week we'll maybe ask him about what he thinks on that. Also, rumors of Awesome Kong retiring, I guess, were false after she is done with Japan. They were saying in Japan that she was going to retire due to health issues. I guess actually that's not the case. Her TNA contract is up in January, and if she's not happy with any offers that are made, she may possibly hang it up. But until then, the 38-year-old will be wrestling stateside. I would love to see NXT get a hold of her for her and Nia Jax to go at it. So maybe this is a chance for Awesome Kong to actually go to NXT at least and have a short little run there in NXT, if not WWE, the main roster. I mean, they already tried her as Karma, and it didn't go over because of her pregnancy. But if she could get another shot, I could see her and Nia Jax being a great matchup. I did not get to check out NXT this week either, and that, unfortunately, is all the news that I have this week for everybody. And as I said, it was going to be a short episode, and it definitely was. Not too much stuff to talk about other than the whole ratings flounder by WWE. The Orton injury, I would say, and Cesaro are the big news coming in here this week. But yeah, I'm going to say until episode 55, make sure you go down to the description below and check out Chronochord Media. Co-host C-Dub does that as well, and I always like to shout them out and co-promote. Also, make sure you subscribe, give us a like, leave a comment if this is your first time. Go over on Facebook, find us on Facebook, searching the Brawl for All Pro Wrestling Show, and give us a like there. I see we got a like there on Facebook or two as well, which we do notice, so we appreciate it a lot. But yeah, until episode 55, this is Jeff Jaros, your host as always. I hope I was entertaining for the fact that it was only me this week. But next week, hope to get everybody on here. And as always, guys, until episode 55, peace out.